Yeah, check it. Listen up, we're making noise. Strictly Sports Podcast, bringing all the toys. Be wise, Malls, and Trigger. We the three wise men. Dropping knowledge, breaking records. It's our mission, man. From the field to the court, we cover it all. No topic too big, no team too small. We analyze, we debate, we bring that heat. Strictly Sports crew taking over the beat.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Strictly Sports. I'm Be Wise,
Miles.
And I'm Trigger.
and we are back with another episode for y'all today. How y'all doing, fellas?
Living life, brother.
Trigger, how you
Doing great, my brother. How you been?
I've been good. I was telling Miles before you hopped in the backstage that we worried that one of the little ones might have did something to their knee. Well, something happened to their knee, but we praying it ain't nothing serious. So
Uh-oh.
yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
happened?
Jumping on trampoline, they were jumping.
Uh,
His dad fell and went face first into his knee, and it's the
mm,
back of it. And he said he heard a pop. Roman said he heard a pop.
Ooh, don't use government names. We live.
That ain't his government name.
Oh, that's crazy,
yeah,
y'all.
yes it
Three,
is. Yes it
three,
is.
3 hours into the summer vacation, and they're already hurting themselves.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Don't worry, we get you some crutches. You still go to summer school.
Yeah, right. You got to get up out of here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you still
Nice
go.
try, but you going to school.
And they'll help you when you get there.
Right.
Right.
But all right, let's get into it. We're gonna start with the some tomfoolery we got going on in our United States. So I took Miles's headline: Trump versus Musk, celebrity death match. Who y'all got winning, and what y'all thoughts of what's going on currently?
I got Elon Musk winning. It's money versus power. But when you got money, you got power. Musk is telling it all, man. I don't know if this is real or stage, but he telling everything. Um, Trump better be careful. There's this big beautiful bill has set Musk off. And now they gonna be cutting, what is it, VE, some with VE, to where Trump, because Musk has the electric cars.
Yeah, the tax
He
credit.
gonna lose. Yeah, he gonna lose billions and billions of dollars. It ain't looking too good for your man, 47, man. He already making talking about he's in the files. The election, the only reason why he won an election because of him. It's crazy. I'm here for it. I am here for it.
Yes, this I'm not gonna say it's nice or refreshing, but like let's just be honest, see two white figures fighting like this publicly, it's kind of different, from what we're accustomed to
White
seeing.
on white crime, man.
Right on
Yeah,
white.
man,
Goddamn.
this is a little, I feel like there isn't as much backlash or outrage from a lot of people as it would be if it's two brothers going at each other on the political stage. You know what I mean? So it's nice for once that we're not the ones, you know, making a fool out of ourselves this time around. And I feel like that needs to be talked about more.
Mhm.
Not that we need a pat on the back and think like, hey, finally, y'all were able to, for a change here, y'all ain't the ones that's, stealing the attention and doing all these crazy things to get in these, in the headlines and all that stuff. Um, our counterparts, they're doing a great job, and I'm enjoying it. I like what
Mhm.
I'm seeing.
I'm enjoying it
Um,
too.
Obviously, I don't know what the implications would be, for us, for the rest of the citizens, just trying to maintain. But like I said, it's nice to see from the standpoint of, for one time, it's not our people.
Mhm.
That's the only thing out of this that I'm happy about.
And I don't know if y'all, and I mean, I was talking to my mom about this. I didn't say this publicly, but when this
Let you know.
bromance started, I was like, sooner or later, this is gonna turn. Like
Mm,
when you got two egotistical men, like this is bound for an explosion. Like it was not matter of if, but more so when.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think it was destined to happen.
Hmm.
It was destined to happen.
the thing that randomly pops in my head because we do sports on this show that popped into my thoughts just now was Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft,
Hmm.
all that kind of buddy, yeah, a lot of success together, and all of a sudden it just all disseminated.
Well,
Yep.
I think this is more so, and this is, I mean, this was 20 years ago. I would probably say this is on the line of Donovan McNabb and T.O. because it won't that
Ooh,
long.
good one, good
They
one.
won't,
Yeah,
yeah, they won't that long. They were buddy, and then in a matter, I think it was Super Bowl 39. They got into it.
yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. That's
I was
right.
trying to, I was trying to keep it white, but yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go with 45, 47. I gotta go with America. I gotta stick
Mm-hmm.
with America. It's America first. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. I don't know. I think it's a ploy. I think they're both master media uh people,
Yeah,
media
if anything, yeah.
personalities. All publicity is good publicity. I think they're doing something to keep their names rotating and circulating, but I don't know. It just seems too fabricated to be true. But if it is, then this is the times we're in.
Mm-hmm. I just want to pivot right quick. I'm
Uh,
still at my lady's house. Funny, I guess she heard me. Funny how she walk in the room pretend to get something. And just take a wild guess what she had on, y'all.
Red
Red
shorts.
shorts.
Mm-hmm. Just trifling.
Trifle,
Does
trifle.
she wait till you get on the podcast to put them things on, or does she wear them, all day?
The first one.
Okay.
Hey Mouse, get the drawers with the holes in them. Get the drawers.
Oh my God, bro,
If you
you.
gonna wear, I'm gonna wear mine
Hey,
too.
yo, chill out, chill out.
That one little left joint be hanging out too. You get a little
He said, get the ones with the holes in them.
get the ones with
That's
those.
yeah, that's all they for anyway. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's it. All right, but let's keep it going. I got some wise words again. With all this noise out here, clarity is power. Protect your peace, move with intention, and remember, just because it's loud doesn't mean it's true.
Hey
So
man,
that's
I
my
like it.
what did Denzel Washington say in American Gangster? Sometimes the loudest one in the room is the weakest one, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room.
Yeah.
And, yep. Mm-hmm.
yep. Unless it's the fire alarm. Shout out to Trigger.
Yep.
Hey, I appreciate that for that.
Oh, and while I'm here on wise words, plug Lady Ray. I know you here somewhere. Me and Lady Ray got an article out. Uh, I can't say the word that she said, but we got an article out on black movies. What is it, Lady Ray? How you doing? Look, right on cue.
Y'all got a movie?
Now we got a article out. Lady Ray, send the link to the article so everybody can go check out the article. Please go check out me and Lady
What's
Ray's
this
article.
article? Hold up. Wait a minute. You just gonna throw this in there and ain't give us no details or nothing. You
Uh,
just got an
Right.
article. What is going on with this article? What y'all writing up?
she can explain it better than me. I just got told I had to write something, and I wrote a piece on fatherhood. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it's the father I'm becoming forever. It's about the show Forever. I don't know if y'all watched the show Forever on Netflix. It's a good
Uh-oh.
show. Wood Harris is Eric. He's the father. I think Michael Cooper Jr. plays Justin. I forgot the rest, but it's a great show. If you like Wood Harris, I think it's one of his best roles
I
and one of
love Wood Harris.
the best roles I've seen for a black father in a show in a while. So I would definitely tell y'all to go check it out. But yeah, I gotta it's Lady Ray. I was waiting for her to say something, but she ain't gonna say nothing.
Yo,
She
shout
gonna
out
just
to Wood Harris, man. He been doing this for a minute.
oh yeah.
Yeah, he been around for a long time.
Right.
But I'll get her to post the link. But I wrote about just what I think about fatherhood and just how to parent different ages of children. Talk about a little things that happened in my past, some of my abuse, some of my traumas growing up without a father. So I just kind of dive into a little bit about what this show and what a couple scenes of this show invoked or brought out of me. So yeah, I'll get it. I'll get the link and share it. I think it's dope. I think it's cool. It's a story of healing and hope. So y'all check that out when we get the link. We'll get it. It's in my email. I'll find it. But let's move on. Trigger.
Yes, sir.
What we got on the top today?
So my trigger rant today doesn't necessarily follow a specific sports topic. It's kind of just something that's been on my heart, and it's more centered around leadership. And this could be used in the sports world. Obviously, I may use some sport examples if anything comes to mind. But in the workplace, at home, in your relationships, your friendships, um, whatever group you're in, um, Yeah, man. I can say honestly, being a fireman, I'm very, very blessed and grateful and fortunate to have certain leaders around me because, as you guys know, I come into this career or came into this career with no experience, none whatsoever, no EMS, no fire, nothing. I had no idea what I was doing. And I also had to learn all the fundamentals, learn all the things. And it's important to have people who are willing to share what they've learned with you to help build you up. But things that I've come across that have been problematic over the time that I've been employed with the fire service is, we have people who may not be as strong in doing certain tasks or doing certain things on the fire ground or on the EMS call. And we have superiors, guys in leadership positions that are belittling them instead of teaching them and bringing them up. So my message to all the leaders out there, to really be a good leader, to really feel like you're doing something serviceable, the best thing you can do outside of making sure that uh, your stuff is all straight and squared away is making sure that your crew is doing well too. If you got a team up under you, it is on you and it is your responsibility to make sure that everybody is able to do what they're supposed to be doing and they are very proficient and good at it. Like no one needs to be out here struggling because it's going to be a reflection on you and your leadership if y'all get somewhere on a call and somebody doesn't know what they're doing or they're faking it till they make it because they could end up hurting somebody else or themselves or somebody on the crew or the patient suffers. Like nothing good happens. The last thing I want to do is show up somewhere and my life or somebody else's life is in the hands of somebody who's incapable of doing so. And if I'm a leader, I didn't show them how to fully do something or prepare them for that moment. That's a failure on the leader. So all you leaders out there, if somebody comes to you about something that they need help with, no matter how simple it might be to you, don't make fun of them. Don't belittle them. Don't talk trash about them. Do your job, step up and help them, bring them up to your level because there was a time when you started out, when you were brand new and you didn't know what you were doing and you messed up and you remember what that felt like. And people who do something for so long, they forget when they first started out how they were. Nobody starts out anything perfect. You're going to be hiccups on the way. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to do some things that you're going to regret or wish you had done differently. But it's all part of the learning curve. It's all part of the process. You do those things, you get experience, you get better, so you know not to do them again. And you're much better for it in the future. So take that same mentality and apply it to those coming up under you. Because there are a lot of people out there like me. You make fun of me one time for not knowing something. Well, I'm never coming to you for anything again because I don't like feeling like I'm incompetent and I don't know anything when I truly don't know something. And I'm coming to you because you do know and you're making fun of me instead of helping me. That's not healthy. That's not the way to go. So step up to the plate and be leaders. Be the leaders that you're supposed to be and bring your guys and your girls up. Teach them what they don't know and make sure you do it with an open mind and an open heart. And don't ridicule them for not knowing something that you feel is simple because it wasn't simple to you at one time in your life. So that's my message. Um, I try to live by that and emulate that. Um, and I hope that people who are watching this show, if this gets out to people, that they are able to take that message and apply it to themselves and make themselves better, their teams better, whatever. And it doesn't just apply to, to work. Being a leader at home, holding your partner and spouse accountable, holding your kids accountable, holding friends accountable that you care for. This applies to everything. And I hope everybody takes this, not as an attack, but as a message to propel themselves and get better.
I 100% agree, Trigger. I don't want to compare it to your line of work because yours is a little more serious. But I see that a lot with officiate. Guys who've been doing it 20, 30 years, and the way they just criticize these first, second officials. They sit there and tell them, do not talk to them like men or women.
Hmm.
You have to yell at them. There's no need for that. And then you're screaming and all this, that, and the third, and they don't come back. Give them the same respect that you want.
Yep.
You know,
Somebody gave you grace, you got to give them the same
yeah,
grace.
unfortunately, everybody can't handle authority.
Yep.
You know, some people, it goes to their head, or they be like, well, when I started out, I got fussed at too, so now I'm gonna do it to you. No, that's not the way of doing it. Talk to them, teach them, and so they can learn from it. Now, once you get it, and you know what you're doing. On that, we're gonna clown you about when your first year. You remember when you first started out, you did this, that, and the third. Oh yeah, we're gonna joke then.
Yeah,
But
that's how that's supposed to go.
yeah, yeah, but nah, you can't, especially in your line of work. Like you can't, because you don't want that person to get flustered, especially
Yeah.
in a serious situation. Because I
Yeah.
need you and you need me.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, the goal is to get back home in one piece.
Yep. Like I said, in the sports world too, you got your guys on the teams that are your leaders. If you see guys ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing, or you got somebody coming up to you trying to figure something out, instead of making fun of them, bring them up, lift them up, motivate them. You
Mm.
know, make them feel like you're somebody that they're comfortable coming to.
Now I
Because that's
will.
how team chemistry and stuff. That's how that stuff is built. It's not the things you do on the court. It's the relationships and the trust that you establish with each other.
Right. I will say though, in a sports term, it's a little different, especially in the professional realms, because now you're talking about jobs.
Yeah.
If you're a veteran and you got this rookie coming up, it's like how much do you teach them? You don't want to teach them too much to where they take your job. But it's like a fine line. Like I think I saw a clip with Joe Flacco and with Shador Sanders. Joe Flacco was like, "I'm not being paid to be a mentor," because
Yeah.
Joe Flacco wants to play. And if
Yeah.
he teaches Shador but so much, then he might end up being on the bench. So I mean,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
sports world, it's a little different. But yeah,
Yeah.
but you are right though.
I get that. As far as on the field stuff, you might be a little reserved with certain pointers you might give a guy because you don't want him to outperform you.
Hmm.
But I do think being a leader involves more than just being on the court or off the court. You know, uh, I'm sorry. I think being a leader is more than just on the court, on the field type stuff. It's all things off the field too. So like, um, yeah, he may not mentor him or give him all the points he needs on the field, but you know, hey, you're in the NFL. Here's what to look for off the field. Here's how to handle your business affairs. Here's how to handle women. Here's how to handle, family members and people who come in at you asking for money. Like, here's how you handle the media. Like, I can give a guy pointers on how to do that and still be a good leader. And two, I can still help him on the field, on the court too. you know, if there's a play or something that he's struggling with, or like, a coach, maybe a coach is communicating him with a certain tone, and you can teach him how to handle that. You got to give him all your secrets on how you do everything, but it's things you can do, you know, um, where you can give him some things, but not give him everything. You know what I mean? So you're not completely shutting down, because I think a player can be a bad leader when they just don't give any kind of advice, or they don't give them any kind of thing to go by. They just keep all the information to themselves. Because to me, that's saying that you're hoping that I fail.
Mm.
Because especially if I'm a rookie, it's different from college sports, obviously, but like, I'm a rookie, this is, all new. Like, there's some things that you can share with me along the way to kind of help me, and get through all of this in one piece. But if you just sit there and don't say nothing and just let me struggle and fall on my face or whatever, when you could have given me knowledge to prevent that, that's a problem. That's not a good leader in my book.
Yeah.
But you
And
could
then
be a
also,
leader
and
without having
also,
to give everything away.
and I also think you should look at where you at. Like if this is like Aaron Rodgers, this is year 20 for me. I know I got 1 or 2 years left. Like I
Yeah.
know I'm on out the door. Why not? All right, look, learn
Bring up the
from
next
me.
guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna,
Hmm.
my job is I'm gonna get you ready for next year because I don't have another year in me. But that's what I would do. But everybody's different. Brett
Yeah.
Favre didn't do it. Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers didn't do it.
There's some
So
guys are so selfish like that, man, and that's why they
yeah.
get the reputations that they get. You see how the general public feels about those two men now, don't you?
Hmm.
So that stuff right there, it also opens up, and it can tell a lot about a person, the way they treat their teammates.
Hmm.
So there you have it. It's not a shocker that they are like that.
Right.
Well, I think that gatekeeping information and not training your person under you is bad. I want to train you and give you everything so you can be great. And if you great, I'm great. I get better. So I agree with both of y'all though on a lot of those takes. So I'm gonna move us on to the NBA Finals though. Game one, NBA Finals. Pacers win game one. Final score Indiana Pacers 111. Oklahoma City Thunder 110. Tyrese Halliburton hit a game winning 21-foot jump shot with just zero point 0.3 seconds left, marking Indiana's first and only lead of the game. Halliburton's performance 14 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. Thunder OKC led by as much as 15 points in the fourth quarter, but couldn't close it out. SGA led scores with 38 points, but missed a crucial mid-range jumper right before Halliburton made that 21-foot jumper. Indiana committed 25 turnovers, but outscored Oklahoma City 35-24 in the fourth quarter. This comeback ties for the largest fourth quarter comeback in NBA Finals history. What's y'all thought, fellas?
What the hell? What the hell?
I,
Oh, go ahead, Trigger.
no, you go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I said, man, it's. Shit, I lost my train of thought.
Shout out Lady Ray and
Say
Kawhi.
what the hell?
Yeah,
How
what the
y'all
hell?
doing?
Man, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, yeah, it's crazy how the Indiana Pacers did not even lead the game for a full second and won the game.
Mm-hmm.
They had the lead for 3/10 of a second
Mm-hmm.
and won the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like think about that
Has
now.
that ever happened before in history?
I don't know. We have to look that up. Three
Team,
tenths of a second,
a
not even
winning
half a second.
team holds a lead for point 0.3 seconds.
Right. I am not surprised. What? Because Indiana's been doing this all playoffs. They are a gritty team. They just fit. Like they fit. They have the right players. They have the right personnel. They have the right coach. They have the right. They just have everything right. They remind me of the Miami Heat from a couple years ago. Remember Miami Heat were like mediocre in the regular season, and then they just clicked in the playoffs. They clicked last year. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and now they're 3 wins away from winning it all. OKC's defense. There is a weakness on that defense, and it's the corner three. I think Richard Jefferson made a comment about that. And if you make those corner threes, they are beatable. SGA he scored 38 points, but when he took like 35 shots, he took a lot of shots. Um, he missed more than he made. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he did I think he was like 7-8 from the free throw line, but he took a lot of shots. So yeah, if I think OKC will win game two, but I think the Pacers will win a seven. This series has to go 7 games. It has to go 7 games. I think Indiana is 7. I think OKC wins game two. They split in Indy. OKC wins 5. Indy wins 6, and then Indy wins game 7. Um, but I think their teams are equally matched. They both play hard. Um, I find it odd that the head coach of OKC changed the starting lineup the first game of the series. But and it would have worked.
Ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, they it worked. I mean, they were up by 15. Just Indiana did Indiana things in the last 3 minutes. But no lead is safe with Indiana. So when you're up by 15, I would be worried. I'd be scared to death if I'm up by double digits late in the fourth quarter against this team. So, but that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, that seems to be the trend here in the playoffs. And if you up 20, you probably gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
But I think out of all the comebacks we've seen so far, and Indiana's been on um, the good end of those. We've seen the Knicks do it to the Celtics. Those first 2 games of that series, they came back both 20 down in both those first 2 games to win. I
And against
think
Indy.
if I had to say which loss was the worst from all those teams, it had to be the one from last night, given the circumstances. Like you force 25 turnovers. That should be the game right there. I don't care if you didn't get more rebounds. I don't care if you made less threes or you shot 30% from three. You get 25 turnovers. You creating all those extra possessions for yourself. You should win the ball game. There's no way. You're up 15 in the fourth quarter. This team hasn't led all game. You're up 9 with just over 3 minutes to go or under 3 minutes?
It's like 2:30.
Yeah, something like that. You're up 9. Like, you had no business, as defensively sound as y'all have been the whole game and all season, to lose that game. Like, OKC, if I ever seen the team give a game away, that was the one last night. Like, yes, Boston blew 2 20-point leads, and other teams have lost leads late in the playoffs. But this one, with all the turnovers, SGA putting up 38, the last couple minutes, like, absolutely, like, how? How do you blow that? How do you lose that lead?
So I will say this. Yes, they had 25 turnovers, but OKC only scored 11 points off those 25 turnovers. So yes, they were turning the ball over, but then they were stopping them once they got the turnovers. If you got 25 turnovers, you should have 30 points off of turnovers. The fact
Yeah,
that you had 25 turnovers and you can only score 11 points, that
yeah,
is that's wild.
yeah. But it's still crazy though, because it's like I was saying before the series started. I said if OKC can turn them over and get out and run, that obviously plays to their advantage, because that's what they've been doing all year long, is turning other teams over. Like, defensively, they were the best team in the league this year. And I said if Indiana's going to have a shot, they have to have to take care of the basketball. If anything, don't let OKC get out run and gun. Make them play half court basketball. And I'm not saying OKC can't play half court basketball, but Indiana gives themselves a better chance at winning, and if they can keep them in the half court. If you turn the ball over and you lead to runouts, in that gym with that crowd, like, it's not going to go well for you. Now, last night, they got very, very fortunate that OKC did not capitalize as much off those turnovers, and that they were able to rally and come back late after being down double digits in the fourth quarter to come back and win that game. What we saw last night is a rare occurrence. It does not happen in sports. Absolutely, that's the first time that's happened in sports. So I think the record, they put it up on ESPN earlier today, saying that teams that were trailing by 9 or more with less than 3 minutes to go in the game has lost. They were like 0 and 130 something,
Hmm.
or 0 and
Well,
182, I think, or something
I
like that.
I think we're gonna start seeing that number change because of the 3-point shot. Indiana's what 6 of 9 in the fourth quarter from three, and OKC didn't make 1 3.
Well,
This is why,
that definitely helps.
yeah, I think this is why you see a lot of blowouts because one team is hot from three, another team is not. That's
Yeah.
why I was telling B Wise before we got air. I was like, now how will you think it will work if they put the 3-point cap? Because now you got to strategize on shooting your threes.
Mm-hmm.
And teams will shoot more twos, and the game will be a little bit more closer.
Right.
So I mean, it's just food for thought. But I think this is, I mean, this is not the first double-digit lead OKC has blown in the playoffs. They gave up. They were up by 17 against Denver in the fourth quarter and lost. Indy was up by 20 against the Knicks and lost. So I think this is the new trend. No lead is safe when you got that 3-point shot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think you made some good points there. How we do see these blowouts. One team is hot from 3-point line, another one's not. That happens. But OKC has, they are a little suspect from 3-point range
Oh yeah.
sometimes. And when they go cold, I mean, they go cold.
Well,
And if
outside
they're
of Luke,
not getting runouts and getting transition buckets from the turnovers they create, that's why I say if Indiana can play half court ball with them and kind of guard them in the half court and make them, play offense, they
hmm
give themselves a better chance to win.
outside of Luke Dort, I don't think OKC is a 3-point. They're not a 3-point shooting team. Like outside Lou Dort, they really don't have a 3-point shooter. They're gonna have to
Even
probably put.
SGA is not that great from three-point
No,
range.
yeah, cause yeah,
Even though he scores a lot of points, they're not coming from the 3-point line.
It's the little mid range and free throw line. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Outside of Lou Dort, don't really nobody be
They
shooting.
don't have a knockdown shooter. I mean,
Mm-mm.
Indy doesn't really have a knockdown shooter either. I think they shoot a little better than OKC does as a team, but neither team has knockdown shooters from outside, which is kind of wild to think about now. Because at least one team in the finals, if you make it, if you're a well-rounded team, you got at least one guy that's out there just knocking down threes.
Well, I think Miles Turner, he's consistent, but they are streaky.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes he shoot, man. Yeah, sometimes he misses, sometimes he doesn't,
Well,
but
yeah.
I don't feel like like he'll have his moments where he gets hot
Mhm.
and he's hitting, but I don't think he's consistent like that.
I mean, they're streaky, and it's like they get hot at the right time. Like when they get hot, there's nothing you can really do.
Yeah, I seen OKC get hot in the Minnesota series. I think one of the first two games they were raining threes,
Mm-hmm.
couldn't miss.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's interesting, but like, and then Halliburton, they said he's what 4 for 4 shooting a shot.
Game winner or game time shot.
Man,
Yep.
that is crazy.
Yeah, I thought they said Jalen Brunson was the most clutch player this postseason, and I think he definitely passed that.
Yeah, it's definitely Tyrese. But
So, Trigger, you were spot on. It's trailing by 7 with 3 minutes, 0-182, and I think let me see. I had something. The only time it's happened in the regular season was I had it pulled up. The 1990 Spurs, 1999 Spurs in Game 2 of the West Finals, 10 seconds left. 2001 Mavs in Game 5 of the first round, 30 seconds left. 2002 Lakers in Game 4 of the West Finals, 13 seconds left. And 2025 Pacers Game 1 NBA Finals, 0.3 seconds left. Since 1998, only 4 teams have won a playoff game despite leading for 30 seconds or less.
that Lakers that was the Robert Ory shot, wasn't it?
2002 Game 4.
Yeah, I think it was the Robert Ory shot.
I think so. Game 4.
But yeah, that's Now you said somebody in Game 5, first round.
Mavs, 2001 Mavs, Game 5, first round, 30 seconds.
Dang, that's
Left.
heartbreaking because back then the first round was only 5 games. Ooh, that's heartbreaking right now. Ooh.
So yeah, it's hey, Pace has been my pick, man. Pace has been my pick. So I'm gonna keep riding.
I can't
Allen,
go. It's gotta
Cali,
go. It's gotta go 7
Sally.
games. It can't go 5.
Pace is in 5.
I don't think it'll go 5. I still think the Pacers will win.
You think the Pacers gonna sweep them?
Gentlemen, sweep.
You said they ain't gonna go 5. That means it's gonna go 4.
If you can't beat me when I turn the ball over 20 times in the first half, I can't imagine.
But
That's a bad sign too for OKC. Now you force all them turnovers and you had the lead, and you still lost.
But here's the thing: OKC is capable of creating 20 more turnovers. I could see them getting 20 turnovers in Game 2, but actually capitalizing on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. But that's a point of emphasis for Indiana, man. They got to come into Game 2 and just value the basketball, slow the game down, don't be in a rush.
So, I agree.
But the only thing with that is, Indy's a fast-paced team, so if they slow the game down, they're gonna be hurt themselves as well.
I mean, I guess so. But if you fast pace and this team is good at speeding people up and getting turnovers, it might work against you.
Yeah, Rick Carlisle's gonna have to figure something out.
But it's, something got to give. Like you can play fast, but you better be good. Because I guess they were, they're playing that style of Game 1, and it turned over 25 times. So you might need to make an adjustment, and that's the thing with coaching. It's just all about adjusting. Sometimes everything you did to get there, it might not be the formula to win. Once you get to where you're trying to go, you might have to change some things here and there. I'm not saying do what OKC did and change your lineup if you don't have to, but You might need to change up your style of play a little bit because remember, playoff basketball is a little bit different. It's a
What's
little
Mhm.
up,
bit physical.
ethos?
It's more physical, and there's more strategizing involved. Like it's a chess matchup. Like some of these coaches are trying to plug and play, and things happen, and then they adjust and react accordingly. So we play up tempo. We go up and down. We like to get up and move, and or get up and run rather. Maybe now, this team is pretty good at speeding us up or speeding teams up and forcing turnovers. So if we already play fast, we're kind of playing into their hands a little bit. If they're good at forcing turnovers, maybe we need to slow things down. You know, run the shot clock a little bit more, work them a little bit on defense to try to get what we want. You know, and that way we protect the ball a little bit better. We take better shots. We give ourselves a chance to play, and we hold them in the half court because now they're not getting turnovers and they're not running out getting transition threes and layups and ones and stuff like that. That's what they live off of. That's what they thrive off of. That's what they want to do. Like I said, there's no knockdown shooters on OKC. So if I'm Rick Carlisle and I know that, I'm not trying to give them any chance to get any confidence or anything going in transition. We're gonna slow this thing down a little bit and play basketball. Because in Indiana, they move the ball pretty well in the half court. You
Mhm.
know, they're not playing fast all the time and doing the things that OKC's been doing all year long by beating teams and scoring in transition a bunch. They play pretty good half court offense. So
I will say because Trigger, me and you didn't see it. Be wise. You mentioned it last show. Halliburton is a liability on defense. I saw that last night. He is a liability. I see where because even on the last play, he wasn't even in on the last play. I saw a couple of plays on replay, and I was like, oh wow, he really is a liability.
They
yeah,
have him.
he's like I say, I think he's still a pretty good team defender because he does disrupt. He'll get his hands in passing lanes. He'll come over and get a steal from behind or something like that. But maybe he's not a good on ball defender.
No, one
Hmm.
on one. Yeah.
One on one. Because some people aren't. Some people just can't stay in front of guys. They just don't have that in them about them. Some
Hmm.
people just can't do it. But they're good at rotating to steal the ball. They're good at anticipating. They're good at putting themselves in the right position defensively to get in position to make plays on the ball. I think he is really good at that. He's done that. I've seen him do it time and time again, and he's gotten some crucial steals and some crucial turnovers in games by doing just that. Maybe not on the ball one on one, but he's out there lurking. He's helping his teammates. If somebody gets beat, he's coming over. He's doing those types of things, and that's important
Yeah.
because if you can't stay in front of your man, you better be able to at least contribute in that aspect, if
Hmm.
anything.
That's for sure, Trigger. Miles, you over here giving us sneak peeks, man.
What you talking about?
You flashing us, brother, with your camera.
What you mean?
I guess you yawned a stretch and your camera went down the couch.
Oh, you saw I whipped the nipple out.
No, not the nipple. It was your legs.
Oh, my
But
bad. Yeah, these little
no, you good,
segments
brother.
right here and there.
But all right, y'all. We're on to the Steelers. What's your thoughts on it? I think the Steelers going to the divisional round.
I don't really see much. I mean, he's part. I mean,
Oh
he's part of the
wow!
dysfunction. He.
This umpire been calling some doo doo.
I don't know. It's just I just think Aaron Rodgers needs to retire. Um, I mean, I guess. Because what happened with the? Well, I ain't gonna say it was his fault with the Jets. Well, this is year 20. He's 41 years old. And you also got to remember he's in the same division with Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. And these are some ferocious defenses. Um, he's gonna be running for his life. And I don't know how well Pittsburgh O line is, but if they ain't up to par, he ain't gonna make it. But
Yeah, I don't think that O line is I don't think that O line is great because they haven't really had much of a run game either over the past couple of years.
They
Yeah.
got a good center.
But,
Zach
but
Frazier's a good
that's
center.
but that's what I say about Aaron Rodgers joining the Steelers. Like, yes, he's better than any quarterback that they've had here recently, but it's just not going to be enough unless they put some more talent around him. If they able to put more talent around him, because even though he is who he is and he's had some great success in years past, again, it's like Miles mentioned, he's 40 plus. He's on the wrong side of 40 or 30, if that matters, because 30 is old now. Um, he got DK Metcalf. Like I said, they were able to keep George Pickens. I'll be like, okay, he's got a couple
Mm-hmm.
weapons. He may be able to make something work. Um, and I still stand by what I said about Aaron Rodgers in terms of he's one of the greatest quarterbacks I've seen do more with less. Like, I remember those rosters in Green Bay when they were winning and going to the NFC Championship, every other year. Like, he didn't have a great receiving core. Like, he had Devontae Adams. You know, those years he had Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson. Um, who's the other receiver? Donald Driver. Those guys, like, was it Driver? Was Driver there when he was there? Or
Greg
was
It
he
was
Jennings.
it was Greg
Greg
Jennings.
Jennings. Greg Jennings.
Mhm.
That's what I'm thinking about. Like, that was probably one of the best receiving cores he had. And then all those guys kind of went away.
Yeah, all right, Trey.
All those guys just kind of went away. And then, he hadn't really had a strong receiver. He had Devontae Adams. That's about it. You
Mhm.
know, but he still had those guys in the playoffs, and they were a threat every year. Somehow, even with that receiving core, they managed to make it to the NFC Championship game time and time again. Um, but again, that was years ago, and he's a little bit older now. He didn't have a terrible year last year, but offensively, they also weren't putting up a lot of numbers either. Now, it's not all on him, like y'all was saying. That had to do, I think, more with the system, coaching, uh, personnel, possibly. But this year, he's in a new system with a new coach. Obviously, the culture's in question, given all the things I have mentioned to you guys about the wide receivers. Aaron Rodgers is he's kind of like that. He kind of shares some characteristics as some of those guys who are no longer in Pittsburgh. So are they addressing that, or are they going to let him get away with it and kind of do what he wants? Because we've
Look at
seen
how it
Aaron
happened
Rodgers.
already.
Yeah, exactly. See, that should tell
What
you
happened?
everything.
Look at
Just
how this
how this
saga
whole
has went on.
process has unfolded. You know, so joining this late in the game. I mean, not super late, but late enough. Taking his time with this decision. Um, it's not the greatest look given how he's been and the lack of success that he's had over the recent past couple of years. So
I agree.
I don't
I
know.
agree.
A lot. I don't think a lot is going to change in Pittsburgh. They'll contend. They'll compete. They'll be a thorn in the side of the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals.
You think the
You know
Browns
they'll
gonna
they'll
do something?
they'll compete. Who?
You think the Browns gonna
I'm
do
just
something?
I'm just saying because of division
The
rivals.
Bengals defense?
I'm just
And
saying because they're division rivals.
oh
The
yeah, I get
division
you.
games. The division games are always tough.
Yes, yes.
They'll definitely. I think them and the Ravens will be 1 and 2. The Bengals, like they came on late last year. If they get off, the whole problem with the Cincinnati Bengals is they get off to bad starts. They put
Horrible start.
themselves in a hole
That defense
year
ain't
after
good though.
year after year, and it is absolutely crazy how that happens to them every year. That the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season they're under 500, and then the rest of the year they're trying to play catch up. If they can win 2 or 3 of them games in September, October, they're probably in the playoffs because they found a way to get it together, but by then it's too late.
Not just
But
in the playoffs, but probably have a great seed.
yeah, because they've been to a Super Bowl. Like, people forget
Mhm.
Joe Burrow's been to a Super Bowl.
Super
We
Bowl
on
and
He's
base,
been.
AFC
baby.
So
Championship.
We on
they
base, baby.
they
We on
got T
base.
Higgins. T Higgins is under contract with them. Jamar Chase ain't going nowhere. The run
But
game is good. The offensive line has been better. Um, with Joe Burrow. I don't know if they're all the way fixed, but they've been better. Defensively, they're solid. So you got to watch out for Cincinnati. If they can put some games together in not December, but September, and win 3, 4 games instead of losing 3 or 4 games, you got to watch out for them if you're Pittsburgh.
But
But
you worry about you got Trey Hendrickson, your leading sack getter, is not coming back. Y'all are fighting, and then the guy you draft to replace him hasn't even signed his contract. Is nowhere close because you're arguing over language on a defense that was already bad. I don't know
That's
about Cincy.
that's crazy how a rookie can be in rookie negotiation, like being high. How are you negotiating? You a rookie. Sign the
It's a
goddamn.
I
contract. It's still
don't
a
know.
contract.
Sign
It's
the
still a
contract.
But
contract.
here's the thing I would say
No,
about that.
no, don't let that. No, look at your contracts.
Here's the thing I would say
You
about
got
that though.
to
I
read
think
your
I think
contract.
I think yes, the Cincinnati defense may be a little bit weak or weaker than their offense, but I feel like Cincinnati has one of those teams where they may be able to overcome that and put up enough points because they can score and they
Yeah,
showed
they
that they
can.
could score. So it might be one of them situations, and like me and Miles being Cowboys fans, like we've seen that for years. How we had so many bad defenses in Dallas, but the offense was able to put up 25, 30 points a game to overcome. All we had asked the defense to do was bend, don't break. The
Hmm.
offense was going to come out there and do it, and we knew what the offense was going to do.
Offense
But the
stayed on the
defense,
field.
the defense just did not need to give up the big play. That's it. That's all we need to do. And Cincinnati might be in the same boat. If they can do that, we know they can score.
That's a walk.
Joe Burrow can sling the rock. He's got two great weapons in T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, one of the best receiving duos in the league to throw the ball to. They're going to score. They're going to score some points. If they can get the defense right, they'll be an even better team. So if they can re-sign Henderson and come to terms on that and get him back on the team and come to terms with their rookie. And I don't know if they've got plans to go out and get another piece or two or something, but they can definitely be a threat in the. And think about it, they did all that last year with all that not being together.
Mm-hmm.
Like T. Higgins' contract was in question, but we didn't even know if he's going to be a Cincinnati Bengal after last season ended. I kind of figured he would be, but there was talks about him potentially being traded or let go or whatever because they had to sign Chase. They
Ooh.
paid him big bucks and like having two receivers getting paid a large amount of money. Like that's not very common on a lot of these teams. T. Higgins could easily go to any other team and be a number one option. You know,
But yeah,
but yeah, I think Cincinnati. There was a lot in question last year, and for them to nearly almost make the playoffs with all those question marks, just says how good of a team they can be if they do get their things together and in order.
but to go back to Aaron Rodgers, I mean, a good point. It's June, and you still haven't even joined the team. Like you sign in March, like most free agents sign in March. They get camaraderie with the players, learn the playbook. Now, granted, he's been in the league for 20 years, so
He
I don't know.
threw with DK. He did throw with DK one day.
Okay, we had one day.
I don't know
So
what they've
you
been doing
have
behind the
no
scenes.
camaraderie with the team. Um, so you're gonna be playing. You're gonna be playing catch up the whole season. I mean, just mini camp or meeting up with a team, meeting up with the guys in April, doing routes and all that, studying the playbook. All that plays a part when you come on a new team. But like I say, he's been in there for 20 years. I don't know what type of offense Pittsburgh runs. He may be familiar with the offense, but all that plays a crucial part. And you could have had that playbook since March. So,
He may have had it. He may have had everything. It's just they didn't tell the world, and that's why I want nobody on either side freaking out.
uh,
It's maybe media made.
yeah,
But
maybe a good point.
speaking of camaraderie and building a team, Cowboys fans, what's your impression on Brian Schottenheimer?
No,
I agree with Stephen A. Smith. He said all the right things. We want to win a Super Bowl. We hope to win a Super Bowl, and if we don't, we gonna try again the following year. I mean, he's saying all the right things, but so far so good. But what you do on the field matters the most. So we'll see.
The
I,
comeback is on.
yeah, I would say the biggest thing with Shotty that I've taken that kind of separates him from the rest of the Cowboys brass and the previous coaches is that a lot of things that he says makes a lot of sense. Like we look at Jerry Jones interviews and Stephen Jones and even at times Mike McCarthy, in the past Jason Garrett, like all these guys talking, even Dak Prescott sometimes talking to me like they say some things. Sometimes I'm just like, hmm, I don't know what to really make of that. But Shotty has been very clear with his expectations, what he wants, what he's trying to do since that press conference when they introduced him as a head coach. I watched that whole press conference in its entirety, just trying to look for something to be hopeful about because I was very upset at the hiring and the whole process and how that took. And I get it, Mike McCarthy kind of left them in a bad position because it looked like they were trying to retain him and they wanted to keep him, but they couldn't come to terms on the years and the amount of money, I guess, and they decided the last second after all these other coaches had already interviewed with all these other teams that could have been on the Cowboys list. Mike McCarthy decides to walk, so it probably didn't leave the Cowboys with much option, and they had to go with somebody in house. So I will defend them on that. Um, could they have still been talking to people just in case? Sure, but they wanted Mike McCarthy, and that's the only reason I figured as to why they didn't go out there and interview a bunch of head coaches or put them on a list because he was trying to work out things with Mike McCarthy for the future. That fell through. Schottenheimer comes in. Everyone's mad. But this man, given how, and I'm sure he knows how everybody felt about him being hired. Um, this man comes in with the weight of the world on his shoulders, knowing that Dallas has not done anything significant when it comes to championships in the last 30 years, having all that on his back, and to say the things that he says to keep it together, but at the same time be firm and convicting, or saying the things that he wants with conviction, like that's something that I haven't seen in any of the other head coaches or any of the Cowboys front office people. So, like Mal said, they got to go on the field and do it. That's got to reflect his thinking, and I think that the things that he's done, I'm just picking up on little things, moving Micah Parsons' locker next to Dak Prescott's, going out and hiring coaches that he's not close with, that he doesn't have relationships with, but just hiring people that do a really good job and do what he wants to get accomplished as far as schemes and what he's trying to bring back as far as the running game goes. Um, bringing in different games and stuff with the players and trying to increase competitive spirit. Um, doing little things like that does go a long way. Establishing relationships, hanging out with certain players, trying to get to know them, like the leaders of the team. Seeing what makes them tick, having a relationship with those guys. Because yes, you are the head coach, but it's like it goes back to what I was saying earlier about leadership. You have guys on that team that are designated leaders, and he is relaying to them what he wants out of everybody else, like a domino effect. Starts up top with the head coach, and then trickles down to all the assistants, and then the guys out there on the field playing. Hey, this is what I want done. This is my message. This is what I'm trying to get across. This is what I need from you. And then you go out there and deliver that message on the field. But yeah, man, I like what he's doing. I like the things that he's saying. He makes a lot of sense. His action so far has matched the things that he said and he wants to accomplish. Now, the only thing that I need to match is their work ethic on the field translates to wins on Sundays, and that we can finally make the playoffs and actually win a few games and get back to an NFC Championship game under his tenure. I really hope that for him. I'm rooting for him. As a Cowboys fan, I have to root for him. And he said a lot of things and done a lot of things so far that has made it easier for me to root for him. Because if I was looking for every reason to go against him, just over the last several months watching him in action, I have no reason to go against him. Like he's made me want to cheer for him and see him succeed. So I'm hoping for the best. He has no pressure, or there is pressure because you're a Cowboys coach, but no one's expecting him to do anything anyway. So I speak from the standpoint of that when I talk about him having no pressures, that people aren't expecting him to do anything. If the Cowboys come out here and fall on their face and we only win, 4 or 5 games, it's going to be like, all right, you hired Brian Schottenheimer. This is what was going to happen. But if he goes out there and he wins 10, 11 games, that's going to be a success. That's going to put him in conversation potentially, depending on how other teams do, for Coach of the Year if he can get 11 to 12 wins. It has to. First
um,
year, all that going yeah, it's got to.
I would say I was a little, I'm now that it's over with, I have processed the think. I think it was time to let Mike McCarthy go. With
Oh yeah,
Schottenheimer, I hope he learns two things: in game awareness and penalties. Um, because those type of mistakes you're not going to win. And Mike McCarthy showed year after year after year, even in Green Bay, that his teams are always top 5 in penalties. Um, so hopefully, okay, the base is loaded, but you're still down by 6 runs.
Hey! The bases just got loaded. Hey, we
Okay,
scoring.
but
Trigger watching it.
but
oh yeah. I see. Will Warren out here then
He need to
lost
get on.
control of his
Yeah,
pitches.
he need to get. They need to get him out there. They need
They,
to get
they,
him
they
out
done
there.
pulled him out. They bringing in the
Okay,
bullpen.
I'm about to
I
say.
That man
do
should have easily got to 7 innings tonight, and of course he get to the damn 6th inning and can't get nobody out.
I do like Shotty going back to the run game.
Yeah,
I just hope he don't
yep.
go back to his father's method. Marty Ball. Marty Ball. It won games in the regular season, but it did not turn to the post. Marty Ball was very conservative, so hopefully he don't do that part of his game. But yes, bring back the running game. When he was the OC at the Jets, they were always top 5 in running. Keep your offense on the field, keep your defense off the field. Dak Prescott ain't gonna be making mistakes. The only question is when you're a run first team, how is CD and George Pickens gonna deal with that? Um,
Well, that's going to open the passing game up.
yeah, it's gonna open the passing game up, but the way Shoddy is, if he's the same way he was at Jets, I mean they ain't gonna try to run the ball 60% of the time. Um,
Hey,
which as a
if it
Cowboy fan,
translates to wins,
but that's the thing. But is George Pickens gonna be okay with that? Is he gonna be another Antonio Brown where
well,
I want my stats as well?
the good thing about Pickens is, it's only a 1 year deal. The Cowboys are not tied to him in any way. This could be like a 1 year rental. If he has issues or has problems, whatever, he goes off of free agency, signs somewhere else, and then we go and we draft another receiver or trade for another receiver or whatever. And the Cowboys didn't give up a whole lot for him, so that's good. So we're not losing out on a lot. We're just getting a guy who's really good, who can come in and complement CeeDee Lamb for a season. And if he does well, we resign him. Okay, great. But if not, no harm, no foul. But I like the idea of running the ball because we've been terrible at it over the last couple of years now. Um, but if he can bring that run game in and get it going, I have a feeling that they'll be able to keep their receivers happy. They'll get some shots down the field. They'll get the ball in their hands. I don't think they bring George Pickens in just to run the ball all the time. Like they're going to use their guys down the field. They're going to get them their numbers. They're going to do everything that they can to make sure that everyone's involved and feel like they're involved.
I mean, yeah, I would like to say, but you know me, I'm old school. Run the run. I mean, if you're picking up 5 yards a pop, do not put the ball in the air. Just keep running it. Because you're controlling the clock and keeping your defense off the field. That's the biggest thing. You ain't got to
Right.
score every drive, but if you are controlling the clock, tiring out that defense and keeping your defense on the bench, and not turn the ball over. And if they turn the ball over, that is the key to success.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're not gonna have 80-yard drives every possession.
Yeah. If they can go for that Tony Romo, that era where he was controlling the clock with that offense.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys, I think, led the league in football. At least one of those seasons, he was quarterback in time of possession.
It was the year DeMarco
Yeah,
Murray
yeah,
20 years.
yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
that was a year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So it was at the top of the sixth or top of the eighth. I can't see that.
Top of
top of the
6.
six.
Okay. Um. Yeah, so that I think that's the key. I don't know what the defense is gonna look like. Um, I didn't know Trayvon Diggs was hurt again.
Oh, he
So
got
He
hurt
hurt.
last year.
yeah,
He
so
hurt again.
hmm I don't know what's going on in Diggs' household, Mama, but you need to feed him something different.
But
So
y'all, all it took was a
Don't
little
do
bit of
drugs.
time, and now y'all, well, not you, Miles. Trigger, hey, big head, and he back. He back. He over here, 10 wins, playoffs, #1 offenses.
nah, I
I mean, like I said, I still got to see it, but I like
We
what he's doing and what he's saying. Like it's all like before, the Cowboys coaches, stuff. They would say things, and it didn't necessarily mirror on the field. And like I said, that's ultimately what we got to get to. Like it looks good and sounds good now, but what's this going to look like when the season starts?
I
well,
think the NFC East has, you know, Dallas has let Washington get past them. I don't see them beating Philly or Washington. I think they're going to lose all 4 games this year. So, what division do they play this year? It's the AFC West and who else?
The
y'all
AFC
play
West and the
y'all play us, don't y'all?
NFC
South.
South.
So yeah, the AFC West is
Is
loaded.
it the
Kansas
South?
City.
No, y'all play us.
No,
I know, but I don't know if y'all play the South.
no, NFC West, I believe.
Hey, you gonna have a
Okay.
chance to see the Cowboys October 12th at 1 o'clock in person
Yeah, I
too.
think we played the NFC
So
West this year.
okay, so yeah, because I know they play the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. They play the Broncos. Who else is out in the West? The
Is it the
Chargers.
West or the South? Who did we
No, it's
play
the
Y'all,
AFC.
last year?
y'all
It's the
got
West
the.
because they play the Chargers. I mean, they play the Chiefs on Thanksgiving.
No, I'm talking
Y'all,
about the NFC. What
Oh,
division we play in the NFC?
y'all are playing the West, AFC West, and the NFC North.
The North.
Yeah, y'all play NFC North.
So we got Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota, and
six
Chicago. Okay.
wins. 6 wins. Yep. Next subject. They got the best division on both sides. The AFC West. The AFC
They
West had
got
what?
Pacers in 6-2, Lady Ray.
The AFC West had what? 3 teams make the playoffs, and then the NFC North had 3 teams.
Yeah.
Then they got to play Washington and Philly, so that's 8 teams that made the postseason.
And y'all got to
Man,
play Jameson
Yeah, they
Russ.
have a yeah. If
Oh,
you
I'm
go
sorry,
by
Jackson Dart.
last year's, if you go by last year's record, the Cowboys will be playing all playoff teams. I think right after Thanksgiving they have like a 6 or 7 game stretch or something like that, where they're playing all teams that made the playoffs the year before, and then like a 3 week period they're playing like they're playing like 3 games in like a 11 days or something like that.
well, I know they usually do that on Thanksgiving. Like they'll play on Sunday, then they'll play on that Thursday, and then they usually play the following Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they usually do their schedule,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I don't get because you're all about player safety, but you got them playing 3 games in 11 days, which is
Yeah, the Cowboys have a brutal schedule, but yeah, they'll if they can get through that and somehow make it to postseason, I think that's worth something.
Y'all gonna have to deal with Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, and Kayvon Thibodeau on that Giants line too. Don't forget about that. And Dexter
The
Lawrence.
Cowboys' offensive line is getting together though. They ain't no scrubs. We saw what they did after Zach Martin went down last year. They were one of the best O lines in the league after he got out, and we just replaced him with a fucking beast out
I
of
think.
Alabama.
I hope Carolina wins so he can stuck because he been wishing on this for what 5 years now.
5 years what?
Give
You're hoping
him
that
nothing.
Carolina be beating Dallas. Y'all be what
Give
y'all on a 4 game losing
him
streak
nothing.
against
Well,
Dallas.
we was about to beat y'all till we got
Give
cheated in
them,
Dallas.
give
Sam
them
Darnold was
nothing.
about to put it on y'all till
Give
Christian
them
McCaffrey got
nothing.
hurt.
Wise.
Ain't giving them nothing.
You were down 36-7, bro.
Ain't giving them nothing.
Not in that game before Christian McCaffrey got hurt.
You talking about in 2021?
Yeah, before McCaffrey got hurt, it was a
Y'all
close
were
game.
down 36-7. Y'all came back, but it was
I
Before,
know the
36 to
Mets ain't
7.
losing to the Rockies. All that
don't
shit
worry,
the
we gonna
Mets
see it in
fans talk
person.
about
Don't
today.
talk. We gonna see it in person, baby. We can see it in person. We can see it in person. I already paid for the tickets. That invoice came out. It hurt me. It hurt me. It's like I don't know. Looking at depending on how much those tickets go for, we might not be at that game. If both teams good, we might not be. We might watch it at the crib.
Watching that B-Dubs.
Yeah, I got $600 per ticket. I'm watching this at the house. But all right, let's get into our last one. well, one of our last topics. Yankees, Trigga.
Well, let me start.
Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
I know. What is? I'm gonna say so. The I don't follow baseball the way Trigger does, but Trigger, he is a dedicated Yankees fan. The minute they lose, how many? Oh, so they got out of it. Okay. The minute they lose, the Yankees are horrible. This, that, and the third. Look, baseball, you're going to be guaranteed two things. You're going to win 60 games and you're going to lose 60 games. So, I mean, you're going to lose games in baseball. But, yeah, just we'll see what happens in the postseason. I do think they'll make the postseason. What will happen by then, I don't know. Um, Baseball's a long sport. It's a long season. Durability is hard. Nutrition is hard.
Bro, they didn't play 64 games.
Yeah. 64 games. Think about that. NBA, that's was he getting tickled? Was he getting tickled over there?
That's what it sounds. That's what it sounds.
No, you gonna put that score back up or what?
It's
Oh, somebody.
48.
It's updated now. You got to update it.
Oh,
Oh,
49. Who hit
Yeah.
a solo?
Paul Goldsmith.
Oh, okay. He's had a good year, hasn't
Wait
he?
till we
It's
get to
good. Good.
Okay.
Good.
Wait till we get back to the 7th.
Man, that man having a great year. Him and Aaron Judge are two of the top 5 hitters in the AL for batting average right now.
So it was what 2-8, right? So don't let them get another run, cause then you got to start all over again.
We ain't worried about it. Yankees give it away at the end of the game.
And they
Don't
got
worry
someone
about
look
it.
like they got a runner.
Yeah, if they put Devin Williams out there, they probably will lose.
Look like they got somebody on first base
Well,
too.
Jazz Chisholm has been on fire since he came
It's
back
probably
from
Jazz
injury.
Chisholm.
Okay.
That boy
I went
got
to a Richmond Flying Squirrel games last
that boy
week.
got 3 hits tonight. Yeah, no.
Shout
Yeah,
out. It was cold. I had to
He
leave.
said cold.
I had to leave at the bottom of the field, dog. I was freezing. I'm like, bro, it's the end of May. People got on coats out here. It was freezing, but hey, I only paid $11 though, man. Oh, also, that should have been my Miles message.
I want to
Parents,
see where you going.
if you gonna take your kids to a baseball game, make sure they're of age. You cannot have them 3, 4 years old at a baseball game. They don't pay attention.
Oh,
It
you
was the
can't.
bottom of the third, and the little kid got hit in the face with a foul ball.
What, up top?
Yeah, it went behind the home plate and went over the little net, and the little boy got popped in the face.
Well, they usually. That's one thing I said about the Squirrels game. Like, people are usually good about ball. Like, if you ain't
No,
paying attention.
but that's what I'm saying. But the kids ain't paying attention. Kids run around. They got their back turned towards that. I'm like, yo,
Oh, no, not
yo,
behind
child.
home
Like,
plate.
if your
Kid.
child,
Yeah, not behind
if
home
your
plate.
child does not have the attention span, do not send them to the game. Boy got hit in the face. Another kid
Well,
got hit in the.
at
Yeah,
least
yeah,
have them somewhere where they're restrained and you're not letting them run around.
yeah. But it's just like, yo, why? No. And I took my girl. She didn't want to go to a baseball game. I'm like, no, because you're in your phone too much.
Yeah.
And as soon as that foul ball come, you're not gonna be able to react when you got your face in the phone to look up and then move out the way because you ain't
Who gonna
touching.
get in trouble for that one?
Yeah. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't paying attention? And
Hey.
then you got 3 nipples on your head.
And you want to talk about the prices of attending these games on the waterfront amphitheater prices too? Man.
Oh no, I got the general admission. I paid $11.
Oh no, I gotta sit behind the third base.
Nah, well that's why I was in the third base, but I was up top. But I mean, you only got what like 10,000 seats, so it ain't right. You still. I mean, you up top, still good seats.
Yeah, they are.
But
Hey, shout out to the Richmond Flying Squirrels getting that baseball park built expeditiously.
but
Also,
they having a sucky season though. They like 13 and
Yeah,
33.
they're not doing good.
ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not doing good. They got a good prospect. Eldridge. Eldridge is
Okay.
a good prospect, but yeah, the team ain't. I've been to 2 games I think this year. One of them.
What you about to say, Trigger?
I was gonna say thoughts and prayers to Corbin Burns, pitcher for the Diamondbacks that I was campaigning for the Yankees to go sign. Is out for the year. Has to have Tommy John surgery. Said in his last outing, he was pitching. His arm just went dead.
And see, with Tommy John surgery, it depends on when you get it, because if you get it like in the middle of the season, you're gonna be out, probably 2 seasons. That's
Yeah,
what, an
that's why
18 month to 24-month recovery.
possibly. But yeah, that was my whole thing with Garrett Cole. The timing of it, he should be back at the start of next year. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a good thing his happened before the season started because else he'd be looking at
Right.
the same timeline.
So is that what
'Cause
happens? Because I never understood Tommy John. So that's pretty much your arm just goes dead.
I don't know exactly what the feeling is or what happens exactly with the arm, but I just know that a lot of pitchers know it almost when they feel it, that it's something serious. And you got some guys out there who've had the surgery, multiple times, so they do know.
Mm. Yeah, I remember Strasburg used to get it. He got it a bunch.
Yep, 12 to 18 months recovery. It's a UCL, so I can't say it, ulnar
Oh,
collateral
he's gonna
ligament.
be out.
Mm. Yeah, man. It's just
Came off the bag.
but yeah, Yankees, man. Just we'll see what happens in October. I do think they'll make the postseason. But that's when they do Yankee like things, and I want to need to see more from Joe. Is Joe Girardi still not Joe Girardi? Aaron Boone. Need to see more from Aaron Boone.
Trigger, you got anything else on the Yankees, my brother?
Yeah. Outside of that thrashing by the Dodgers in that series, we lost 1 game to 2. Really should have won it 2-1. We gave away that first game. But outside of that, they've been looking good. Jazz Chisholm has come back from being injured, and he has been lights out. This is his second game back, and this man, I think, is like 8 for 14 at the plate right now. He's got
Mm.
2 home runs. He's got a 3-hit game tonight. He had a 2-hit game last night. Well, maybe a 3-hit game last night too. I don't know. I'm losing count. This man is getting hits, getting on base. Um, but he's looked good. Jason Dominguez hurt his finger. Was it the Dodgers series or the series before? I can't remember when, but he's back in the lineup tonight. Anthony Volpe sadly went out during this game that's on right now. He got plunked in the elbow with a fastball and didn't return to the game. So I don't know if he's going to be out or miss some time now. Um, Outside of that, no big updates. Giancarlo Stanton is getting close to his rehab assignment. He's been doing some live batting practice with well, not live batting practice, but with the machine. So he hasn't faced any live pitching yet. Yeah, I figured they was gonna do that. But yeah, Giancarlo Stanton hasn't faced any live pitching, but he's been hitting on the machine, and he's about to start his rehab assignment here soon. So he'll be nearing his return. No news on Luis Hill. I'm guessing it's gonna probably be July before we see him, if anything. Now, because no news apparently. I guess that means he's still working. If there was an update, he's getting close to a rehab assignment or whatever, they would have said so, but they didn't. So I figured he must still be a little bit of a ways away. He also had a little bit of a setback too during his recovery. So, um, but yeah, that's about it. When it comes to them, they've been playing pretty good baseball despite not being 100% healthy. Oh, Luke Weaver, the biggest one, uh, injured his hamstring warming up in the Dodgers series, and now he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. So now Devin Williams has been put back in the closer role because Luke Weaver's injured, and we all saw how that went. And the 2 outings that Devin Williams has had in the closing role have been nothing short of dramatic. And I don't know how much I can do. I honestly don't. I'd almost rather see anybody else in that role right now than him. Now he's been great as a setup guy, coming in the seventh or the eighth inning and getting guys out. He does a great job in that spot. He doesn't really do much for me from the closer role, but run my blood pressure up. So I am worried about that because Luke Weaver's going to miss, a month and a half, 2 months. And Williams has got to be a lockdown closer in that time. Um, but rarely does this man come in the game. Does he just go three up, three down? Like he's facing 4 or 5 batters, 6 batters. Like I just need him to come in and just do his job and just get off the field. But we'll see how that goes.
That's got to be the most common black name, Devin. I know 4 Devin Williams. I know that's random, but I just thought about that. Like I know 4. I know 4 people with the name Devin Williams.
That's the joint. That's the base model. That's the base
Hmm.
model name. But all right, we're gonna hit on the future of strictly sport original content. We're gonna start with the Why I'm a Fan series. It's gonna be personal stories, clips, moments about players, teams, things that made us fall in love, and why we are fans. So I don't know if y'all want to talk about that a little bit. Y'all share y'all thoughts, share y'all ideas.
I'm excited about it. Sports has been my whole life. I never really been good at playing it, but I've always loved watching it. My final thoughts. I'm gonna have something to say about us trying new things, new sports. But yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be great because it kind of gives the viewers a more or deeper look inside of how we, you know, came to be in this, why y'all so crazy about sports? Why do you watch every day when it's on TV? How do you still get excited about it after all these years? Um, to give them, to be able to give them a little bit of a background as to why that is, because a lot of people don't understand that who don't watch sports. A lot of women who don't care for it don't understand why y'all get so obsessed. Why y'all there yelling at the TV and doing all these things? Well, this will be the time that we explain why that is. So, ladies, if you're tired of watching your man stress out and letting the sports team, you know, uh, predict his or make or set his mood for the rest of the day, tune in.
Or
We're gonna tell you why,
if you're tired of going through his phone and you go through the group chat and you don't know what a ball screen or
bruh,
crosses or slants is,
bruh,
tune in.
bruh. So sometimes when I be texting y'all, when we be talking about sports and stuff, like my wife will walk in and be like, "Who are you texting a book to?" Like she automatically assumes like it's something, secretive or whatever. I'm like, "I'm just
but
talking sports."
I found
He's
that I
sitting here
found
mad
that,
at Devin Williams.
but I found that
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
I found that odd, Trigger, because your wife, I mean, especially football, she's a football junkie. Saturday afternoon, she is in the house watching JMU. She's
Oh yeah,
watching more like so. I'm kind of surprised she's like that because she does
she
love
yeah
sports.
she she follows her teams religiously, and it's really just JMU football and the Ravens.
Okay.
But yeah, but like I'll be typing and whatever on my phone, and she'll look and she think I'm talking about, because usually when you type in something like that, it's something dramatic is happening.
Mm.
What's going on? I'm like, no, I'm just talking sports.
Who you
She's
typing
like,
a book
it's like
to?
all that over, all that, just over a game. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
See, I'm disappointed, Mac. As you
some
know,
people
she.
just don't. I mean, she's a fan, but I guess she's not one of those fans where like after the game is over with, she feels the need to go and like talk about it with her friends or like dissect everything that happens. Like
Mm.
she's not someone who's looking at it the way that we do. Like we can watch the game and we can be in it. We can cheer for a team. Do all those things, be entertained, but we got to talk about it. As men, it's something that we do. We got to talk about it and like break it down. And hey, here's where it went wrong. Here's why this happened. If they would have did this, like we got to look at it from every angle. We got to
Mm.
armchair quarterback it, Monday morning quarterback it. We got to do all that stuff because that it's just in us to do that. Like that's and it could be two teams on the TV that we have no affiliation with.
Mm.
Like it ain't necessarily got to be our favorite teams that's playing. It's just two teams playing a football game, and we just analyze everything that's going on. and looking at it
America.
and like just debating about it. Oh man, he the best quarter? No, that guy's the best quarterback. They got the best receiving core. They do this like whatever. Or my team beat this team that team. Like we got to do all of that. We can't just watch the game, let it go off, and then just go off to something else in life.
Hmm.
And just wait till next week for now. We got to talk about it. Then after it goes off, while it's happening, before it comes on, we got to talk about it all week before the next one come on. Just it gets us through. I don't know what it is, but that's just how we are. That's what we do. So we'll try to give everyone a little bit of a background and a little bit of some details as to why, at least with us, and maybe that gets insight on the rest of the male population out there that loves sports, as to why that we go so crazy and we're so invested over the shit that we see on TV.
We love live sports. Oh, sorry. I thought that's what we was doing. My bad.
You got to be kidding me.
All right. What's y'all ending thoughts? Let me see this go. Oh, we ain't doing nothing. We on
All
baseball.
right, so last Tuesday, I don't know if I told the story or not, but last Tuesday I participated in our student versus teacher soccer game, and I was the goalie.
You were a goalie?
I was the goalie last year,
He
and
did say he was a goalie.
out
What?
of
Wait, hold on. Why is this the first time we just now finding out about this?
No, he
oh
said it last time. He said he was a goalie last time.
yeah, because don't know other body want to play goalie because they're afraid of the ball. And I didn't know what I was doing. My child, Mr. Kaplan. Mr. Kaplan played soccer. Mr. Kaplan and Miss Smith, they both played college soccer. And they pretty much said, wear these gloves, and if you don't catch the ball, don't hit it with your hands.
I knew that was gonna happen sooner or later.
Ball your fist up and knock it down. But out of 3 games, I gave up one
Trying to get
goal.
his damn game away.
And the only reason why I gave up that one goal was because I didn't have on cleats. It was raining, and when I went to go dive for the ball, I slipped and fell and landed straight on my face. Um, but it's like, dang, yeah, I'm playing kids, but they was like, you know your angles, this, that, and the third. But they was like, you ever play soccer before? I'm like, no, this was my first time ever playing soccer. Growing up, black families really don't push our kids to play soccer. It's football and basketball.
Hey, I
It's
push him to soccer. You get a
Yep, that's
job all
true.
over the world. You get a
it's a
job.
fun sport to play, and it's yeah,
It's
you
a
gotta
good
use your
foundational
feet.
sport.
Yeah, it's you use your feet, but we have got to get our kids to play other sports than football and basketball because you don't know what they'll be good at. Now I'm saying the thing, well, damn, if I would have played soccer since I was 5, no telling what I would have been,
You'd be in Europe right now.
Oh, yeah. So, so try different sports, man. Black people, try different sports. And it was crazy because one of my students, like, man, Mr. Mao, they did you dirty. Someone took a picture of me and I was locked in. I mean, I had grass all on my face. Hey, man, y'all wrong with that, man. So,
Hey, I want to go on the football field. Put him on the football field.
mm-hmm. All right, Trigger.
Oh no, I got nothing. I pretty much said what I need to say about why we love sports and why we're so I'm excited about that. So, but yeah, I guess next time we come back, it'll be after, should be after game 2 of the NBA Finals. I have something else to talk about, dive into. But other than that, we're just keeping an eye on training camp for the NFL, seeing what's going on there. I'm expecting some trades to happen soon. Jalen Ramsey's probably the biggest name that's been on the trade block
Coming to
so far.
Carolina.
Carolina was one of the teams that was on that list.
And
It
Mackenzie
was
Alexander.
the Rams, the Panthers. I forget who the third team was, but they said the Panthers were the team that made the most sense. So yeah, something be wise, get all hyped up about, and get excited for.
I got J.C.
Um,
Horn and Jalen Ramsey. Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean it would be a great addition for y'all. I'm not even going front on that,
Yeah.
um, but anywho, so we're looking for him to get moved at some point. Um, but yeah, I think that's about it. Hope for a good finals, good series. Yankees keep winning, and then we'll see what happens on the trade with Jalen Ramsey here soon.
Um, I don't got much. Go support Lady Ray. All her articles at Black watchmovies.com. We got the article coming out sometime here over the next couple of days. It will be coming. I'm excited for Tuesday. I'm going to sit with Coach Canales, Coach EJ, a couple coaches from Carolina at a theater, and they're gonna talk football and do a live Q&A with some of the fans. So I'm gonna go to Charlotte and check that out. So,
Okay.
yeah.
You trying to work your way into the front office? Okay, I see.
I just want to be a scout. I just want to be an area scout. I just want to be an area scout.
That first call gonna be the Remington Jennings. Be somebody out here on defense that can run routes. Hey, and their receiver running a slant and go. He right there running one with him.
I love him. But
So you on defense? What are you doing?
The two memories I got, we was in middle school, and all I remember is Rim laying in the mud like this.
Oh, at the park. Yo, he went running for a ball that was way out of bounds and slipped and fell right on his back in a puddle of mud, bro. It was like the most Remington thing he could have done.
She said this available on Tubi. Go check it out. Black Lives Matter.
Lady Ray. Tubi. I've been watching Tubi movies all summer. I gotta hit not Lady Ray, Koala. But I gotta hit you about some of these Tubi movies I've been watching, man. I just watched one called Make It Out. That was pretty good.
And then Rim when he dunked on the mini hoop at Matoka Park when they had I forgot who was playing, but remember when Matoka they had the short hoop and the tall hoop, and Rim just and it was just, I was like, go ahead, Rim, man.
No, that joke where he was running out of bounds trying to catch that daggone ball, and he slipped and fell on his back. Boy, that was...
Did he have the gloves on? Didn't he have the Spider-Man gloves on?
No, this was he had two memories when he slipped on his back, right?
Yeah, I think it is too.
Probably.
Yeah.
That boy fell a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Look, she said, give me the info.
Yeah.
Tubi. Shout out Tubi. Shout out Tubi Movies. Shout out Liquid Death. If
Tubi.
y'all looking for flavored sparkling water, if y'all looking for any sponsoring opportunities, Strictly Sports is available and ready. But that's all I got. Don't drink yellow snow. Or don't eat yellow snow.
Yo, that's a strike.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
All right, on that note,
bro, that was all in the zone. You kidding me?
Yes, sir. We back. Oh, they gave it to him. It's 6'9", Mouse. It's 6'9".
Bro.
What in it?
It's going into the bottom of the 7th.
It don't matter. He got him anyway. Get your ass out of here.
Bottom of the 7th. We on their necks.
The umpire has been highly questionable tonight.
We on their necks. Red Sox in 2 innings.
Okay.
I'm
out. I'm out.
I'm triggered.
And this is Strictly Sports. Peace. See y'all later.
Leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, girl. I'ma leave the door open. Let you feel the way I feel, and you want me like I want you tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming.